Justin,
Oh, okay.
who's watching, thank you. So here's what you missed, everybody. I introduced myself. It's Cat Lady Justin, and this is the Kitty Boss, where we pick, pamper, and protect your practically perfect pussycat for a lifetime of unconditional love. And I then said that we have a very special guest, and his name is also Justin, and he's from the West Coast, and he has created and brought to market a app that I think is going to have a very big impact on reuniting lost cats or helping lost cats be found. So I think that's going to be awesome to hear from him. Before we do, as you can see, there's Rachel. There's Dr. Rachel Geller, the cat behaviorist extraordinaire who offers her services free of charge because she's not just a cat behaviorist as well as a cat chaplain. She is a cat philanthropist. So, Dr. Rachel, how are you?
I'm well, delighted to be here today, Justin. And it's nice to hear your voice.
And we're delighted to see you and hear you and all of that. So without further ado, let's bring in Justin Ruffer.
Hello.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, Justin
Okay,
Ruffer.
Justin Ruffer from Whisker Tracker.
California. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for Whisker Tracker. And he's joining us for the West Coast, which is San Diego, California. So if anyone was watching last month's episode with the people from the Whisker and Wine Bar, and if you haven't, you should really watch it, even if you're not in San Diego, because honestly, it's a cool idea. It's a cool place. It's inspiring what they do. It's not just getting liquored up and petting cats. It is cats, of course, wine, enjoying yourself, but they have so much more than that. And Justin happens to work with them, but that's not why he's here today. Today is here to talk about Whisker Tracker, which is an awesome project, and he's obviously wearing the logo. So, Justin, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm a big fan of the show.
Thank you very much, Justin. So I probably butchered and described Whisker Tracker in a mediocre way. Could you please tell us a little bit about Whisker Tracker?
Sure. So a couple of years in development, or at least the idea is a few years in development, but I started working on it back in April, so about 6 months, and I'm excited to announce that it is going to be available for download on Monday. So we are very close.
So you heard it here first, folks.
Breaking news.
Coming Monday. And where would we be downloading Whisker Trackers? Are we talking about the App Store, the Google Play Store?
Yep, Google Play and your Apple App Store. So
that's
it's
awesome.
A free download. There's a premium subscription upgrade if you want extra features and things like that. At its core, Whisker Tracker is for cat spotters. So if you take pictures of outdoor cats, this is an app that you can use. It should be fun for casual cat lovers. I have friends who, when they go for a walk and see neighborhood cats, they take pictures. And then every December, they'll make a calendar and pass out calendars of their neighborhood cats to their neighborhood. So it's for people who like to do that. I also work in the rescue community. I do trap, neuter, return, and I volunteer with shelters and cat cafes. And this should also be very helpful for the cat rescue community. If you're a colony caretaker or you manage cats, this will really give you the ability to manage all your cat sightings. And I'll just break down sort of the simple concept. Take a picture or upload a picture of a cat, give it a name, give it a location so you can see the location of all your cats. You can enter behavioral or health statuses, if they're friendly or if they're feral or if they're ear tipped and are fixed. You can keep track of that. And then there's a note section that you can leave notes. And the really exciting feature, which we're going to be working on next, is cat facial recognition. So if Justin, you and I see the same cat, we can have different profiles, but now we could talk to each other. So if I see Fluffy and you see Snowball and it's the same cat, we could connect. I could ask you, I could donate to you. I could ask you if I'm going out of town, maybe you could feed this cat. We could leave comments on the cat's wall. So it creates a community around seeing the cat. And then facial recognition also allows us to cross-reference with missing pet sites, Petco, Love Lost, and Paw Boost, and maybe even Nextdoor. If you scan a cat real time, you'll get a response back that says this cat has been reported missing.
Yeah, and that's what I find to be the more I guess the powerful side of things,
Yep.
because I think I mentioned to you in a message, I think that there's far too many cats who don't have a home, and that makes me sad when I see a lost cat, or when I see just a cat that needs adoption or rescue or fostering. All that stuff makes me really sad, because they should have loving homes. Um, but what do you do about it? What do you do about it? Instead of being sad, I'd like to, introduce things and people like Dr. Rachel and other folks that have been on the show, and to hopefully, before I die, get 1 million cats into a loving home. I can't do that by myself, obviously. And so I think that that's where I excited about Whisker Tracker. So yeah, I do cat spotting. Sure. If I walk that way, I will invariably run into several cats. It happens. When I walk to my partner's neighborhood, same thing. I'll invariably cross at least one cat, sometimes 2 or 3. And yeah, of course, I take a picture of the cat and send it to couple friends and family who also like cats. The Whisker Tracker is something that builds a community, but around the cat, So this is kind of like reviving ancient Egyptian culture, because we're building our community, but not around a monument or around a hobby, but we're building it around a worship. I mean, not worship, around a adoration of a cat. And I think that's really cool. But it's more than that, because then, like you said, this is not just, oh, look at the cute cat, here's a photo. Here, it's geotagged. Let's say it's, where that is. You can add some details that you've observed about it, if any. And then it becomes a tool that people can use who do trap, neuter, rescue, or who do all the other things. Or if it's a lost cat, reunite it with its family. Because that happened on my street. There's one of my neighbors lost a cat, and I saw a cat on the sign is in the window, still in the window.
Yeah.
I saw a cat then in the window that looked sitting right under the sign. So I took a picture of it. I thought that was hilarious. Lost cat, and there he is. And then I sent it to him. Looks like you found your cat. That's really good news. And then very, very sadly, he said to me, "No, that's not him." But we, by pure coincidence, ran into this cat who looked exactly like him, who needed a home. So we adopted him. So I'm like, okay, well, that's nice. That's great. But it was very sad to hear that they never found their cat. So anything that can help to get the cats back, I think is a good thing. And of course, the latest, I don't know if it's a conspiracy theory, rumor, or whatever about certain people eating them. I mean, I hope they don't. I hope it's just, fiction, because that's the one thing that I think my level of tolerance would be exceeded. In other words, I consider myself a tolerant person, but I wouldn't be so tolerant for if somebody is, eating a cat. Then I'd be like, whoops, I guess we've exceeded my level. I guess I'm a bigot for someone who would consider eating a feline. That is out of the question. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
Any capability or synergy with like the microchip companies?
I think, yeah, right? There is something with the microchips, right?
I was curious about that, because I know, like, my cats are microchipped, and as part of it, you attach a picture. So
So is there something that can work with the app within the phone? Because I know phones can do like all kinds of weird things. Is there something that can scan a chip?
As of right now, I don't think phones can scan the RFID chips. I have a chip scanner that I keep with me, and when I see a kitty on the street, I'll scan them to see if they have a chip. There's limitations to microchips. Obviously, you need to be able to get close to the cat. Yeah. And since I work with strays and ferals, if I can get a clean picture, that's about as good as I can hope for in some cases.
Because I was thinking, because as part of the microchip I mean, my cats are microchipped by 2 different companies. So just based on these 2 companies, as part of it, I have to provide pictures of my cat. So I'm wondering, maybe not so much the microchip, but if there's a way the picture to picture can work through the companies as well as through individuals, the way you were describing that. I mean, that would be like groundbreaking, I think.
Yeah, so I'm starting to develop those partnerships because there
Yeah.
are databases already. Petco
Yeah.
Love Lost
Yeah.
already uses cat facial recognition, so you can upload a photo. One of the things that I noticed in a quick story about missing pets is people don't go out looking for missing animals, but they may take a picture of a cat. So,
Yeah.
Justin, it's possible you've taken pictures of cats that
Mhm.
were missing and you didn't even know it. Last year, the day before Thanksgiving, I came home and one of my cats had bore a hole through the window and got out.
God.
Luckily, it was only one cat that got out, but I was looking for a few days and I posted on all the places. And as I was out looking for her, I saw another cat walk behind a fence. And so naturally, I went over. He came up to me. He was very friendly and he looked familiar. So I pulled up the Nextdoor app and I found his missing picture. And I had sort of recognized because I was familiar with the missing cats from just looking at them. So I threw him in my backpack and I reunited him the day after Thanksgiving, which was incredible. The family was so happy. He was like 6 miles away, so they never would have found him. And had I not known he was missing, I would have taken a picture, said hi, and continued on. So with Whisker Tracker, you could actually help reunite missing pets when you're not even looking for them.
Yeah.
Just by taking a picture, it can tell you. So yeah, some of that we'll have to develop partnerships and connectivity with their database, which I think most companies are going to be receptive because we're helping them to
would
be
think so.
reunited.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
from the perspective of the microchip company, right, it's a benefit. You know, it's an added feature that they could advertise.
So how
Yeah.
many cats do you have? Because you mentioned only one got out. So how many are we talking about in the Ruffer household?
Well, it's I don't know if it's polite to ask people how many cats they have. It shouldn't matter how many cats I have. I did get her back. I put a trap in my front yard and she came right in. So I was able to trap her the next day. I have 8 cats and I'm fostering a cat that I picked up off the street who was in kind of rough shape. So I have 9 cats in
That's
my
awesome.
possession
Yeah,
at this time.
I met your cat, the ginger cat,
Tito.
right before, because Emily happened to have been next to me, and this one was there, and he's a lovely cat. You know, I don't know how you're gonna give him to someone else, but
Yeah,
like,
actually, Dr. Rachel, what the challenge now that I have is the male cats don't get along very well, and so integrating them is the challenge. So I basically have different rooms, and I have a catio outside that I'm going to split into 2, where I can have 2 male cats outside, and that's the challenge.
also
I'm
on
dealing
that note, is there any like cursory tips we could give Justin about those male cats who aren't currently getting along?
I mean, the best way to get cats to get along is to come up with ways to create positive associations between the cats. So, you know, eating something really yummy within close proximity to each other. If they can't get close to each other, you may have to start off, you know, several feet away. We always have to meet the cats where they're at, but reserving a super duper yummy treat for only the times that those 2 cats are eating near each other, and then gradually inching the bowls closer and closer. And the idea is, you know, each cat will think, you know, now that I think about it, whenever that other cat is around, I'm getting these yummy treats. Maybe that other cat's not so bad after all. So forming positive associations through food, through group play, that type of stuff can be really helpful. Sometimes you really need to back it up and start off the cats in 2 separate rooms and start off introductions like just with a cracked door, because, you know, some cats will charge at each other. So it really depends on your unique situation. But if you do need help and you want kind of like a step-by-step guidance, just shoot me an email. I'll ask you some questions, sort of like what your setup is and what's going on. I mean, are the cats intimidating each other? Are they posturing? Are they hissing? Are they growling? Or is there actual like physical fights and fur flying? We'll figure out what's going on, where you're at, and we can take it from there. But the short answer is creating positive associations between the cats kind of will build that foundation and have each cat view the other one as a positive addition to his life.
It's great. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, like I mentioned, Rachel doesn't charge for her services, so this isn't going to be something you're going to have to pay for. So if you need it, the offer's there.
Yes.
And that's really cool. Before we move on, I wanted to share with everybody whiskertrackerapp.com, because you don't have to wait for Monday. You can get some more information right now. You just have to go to that website. I don't think you can buy anything there today. The app itself will have obviously features that everybody can use right away. And like a normal app, it will have some things that people can add on and make a purchase with, but it's not required in order to use the app. But if you want more information on it, you want to kind of, I guess, see a few things, then whiskertrackerapp.com is where to go. I'll spell it because most people are listening, not watching. Although there's somebody did make a comment. What? Anyone know what that means? It's like Bushra says, yeah, yeah, I don't know what that means actually. I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know. Is it a good thing or?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
All right, yeah. So they're not like giving us the finger or something like that.
No.
Is that would be bad. But Whisker Tracker app is I'll spell it for the benefit of everyone who's listening. Is WHISKERTRACKERAPP.com. Whisker Tracker app.com. And not everyone's a good speller, so that's why I spell it for you. I don't know if everyone's as excited as I am about this concept, but I certainly think it has potential to be really cool and really big because let's face it, sometimes, I don't know, raise your hand if this is you. You have so many cat photos, right? Okay, I have on my iPhone, I have 13,285 photos and videos. Now, they're not all cats, but the majority of them are.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. Thank goodness for iCloud and generous subscriptions for a lot of storage, because I can't delete a cat photo. I can delete a photo of me, but not of a cat. So I have lots of photos and memories and all of that. Especially I've got like when Emily was a kitten, before she was adopted, which was 14 years ago, and things like that. I'm not deleting that. So in any case, I share the photos. And I will share the photos. And I will sometimes overshare the photos. And some people on Facebook don't want to see cat photos. They're friends of mine. They want to see me, but they want to see something else. So I don't often get flack for it, but sometimes, unfollow. We don't want to see so many cats. We're dog people. Okay, that's fine. We're still friends, but it's just a thing. Whereas with Whisker Tracker, this is just cats. That's it. It's not Dog Tracker. It's this is a place for cats. So there is no oversharing of cat photos on that. So I think that's why it has a real potential for people who are lovers of cats, occasional admirers of cats, or people who are obsessed with cats and are really, really into them.
But you think too about like colony feeders. I mean, colony feeders, whether you are part of a small rescue group or a larger rescue group, or you're feeding a colony in your backyard, whatever the situation is. So many of us who feed in colonies or help with colonies, we're kind of like isolated. We're islands. That we're not connected in any way. And this really, as you said, Justin, creates a community of the people who are working with colonies, providing food in colonies, providing shelter in colonies, identifying cats. You think about what goes on in caring for a colony, and most of us think about feeding, but sometimes cats do wander off. Sometimes cats get injured. Sometimes, a cat may become pregnant, whatever it is. And to be able to communicate with like the larger, volunteers and caretakers in the area, I think is very, very valuable and helpful to, not only the people who are doing the hard work, but the cats themselves. It's going to help the cats be healthier, help the cats in times of crisis. And I think that there's so much potential for this. I'm very excited about it. I mean, I work with so many shelters, from, small rescue groups that are out there feeding, to shelters that, have several different buildings, and they're very large organizations. And there's very often a disconnect between all of these animal welfare organizations. There really isn't a way to create a pipeline. So this is very exciting, I think, and for the most vulnerable cats too.
Right. And one of my, just want to add on to that. One of my goals that I noticed is the rescue community. It's a very close knit network, but everybody's strapped for time and resources, but we keep asking each other for donations. And I had my rescue friend ask me if I could foster a cat. And I told her last week, I'm trying to adopt my foster cat out. So part of this app is to bring in the casual cat lover who takes pictures and connect them with the rescue community, and hopefully encourage donations and additional support that the rescue community really needs.
Are you a nonprofit too, or?
I am not.
Well, so what I was going to offer is, while I have your attention, is as part of my foundation, to give out grants. So if you have a connection with a nonprofit and they're interested in having some money to help with their nonprofit, just email me and I can get you a grant application.
Awesome. I support several nonprofits in the area, and with Whisker Tracker, if you do upgrade to a premium subscription, it's $4.99 a month. And if you use a nonprofit referral code, or if you work with a rescue and you want a referral code, whoever signs up with that referral code will make a donation every month, as long as you have that subscription, for 25%. So a quarter, if you're using the app, a quarter of that subscription goes directly to your favorite animal rescue.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. And then the other thing this might be very good for is people who come across a cat that may need rescue and they don't know what to do.
Yes.
Yep.
It's maybe their first time, or they're very young, because we're talking about this as a cat thing. So I'm assuming this is appropriate for pretty much any age. If you have a smartphone and you're accessing the store and you can download something, you can use this. There's nothing risky or dangerous in there. So somebody might be very young, or conversely very old, and not know what to do. But through the app and through the community that's going to be generated from it, they can find out what to do. They can ask, someone can tell them, oh yes, I highly recommend you do this, that, and the other thing. And that could actually be very valuable as well. So it's empowering on many levels, not just for the cat, but, for the people who, and let's say I don't know, one day, maybe in, a year from now, this can be promoted also to the non-cat community. Because if you're walking your dog, and you come across the cat, it's like, what do? You let the dog eat the cat? No. Maybe with Whisker Tracker, you can help the cat and find out what to do. I don't know what to do with cats. I have a rabbit and a dog. Okay, well, Whisker Tracker, cool. Okay, here's what I do. Done. And then maybe that cat will be reunited or found or whatever. You'll know what to do. So there's many levels of that. I don't think that would happen right away, but I think maybe in a year that could be something of a possibility, is getting other people, dog walkers, to download the app, just so that they know what to do. What's that?
You're going to keep them very busy.
Actually, one of our goals, and the reason I titled it, named it Whisker Tracker, is because I volunteer with the Stray Animal Foundation in India. And in other countries, there are way more stray dogs than cats. And there's facial recognition for dogs as well. It's a nose print, whereas a cat, it's the face, and you measure different points between its face. So we can absolutely expand to dogs. There aren't as many stray dogs here in the U.S., so it doesn't quite work for dogs. But that's the vision, is to expand to dogs once we get cats down.
For other countries,
US, like in the U.S., if people see a stray dog, they kind of know what to do, and they feel like they know they should do something, because it's unusual to see a dog just, waltzing down the street. but because so many people let their cats outdoors and so many colonies exist, I think a lot of people, when they see a cat, don't necessarily think, oh, this cat might need help. But even just knowing there's an app, I mean, to me, like when there's the path of least resistance, you're going to get more involvement. So even if you're the type like, oh, I don't really want to get involved. Oh, not a big cat lover, but you're making it so easy. So it's kind of like, oh, well, maybe I can help somebody, and it's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. That sounds right. That sounds like that's the right thing to do. The other thing with what it is that you're doing here is that you've got a potential to make money, and then with that money, you can put it to good uses. A lot like what Rachel does. So obviously, you take care of yourself first, and once you're taken care of, this can really expand the number of cats. So you talked about some other countries and expanding it potentially to dogs, like in a country like India and all that. But for the immediate future, is this you said in the App Store and the Play Store? Is that in the U.S. App Store? Because like I'm obviously U.S. person, and so I mainly talk to people in the USA, which is why we're all here together. But I actually reside in the United Kingdom. My home is here. This is where I live. Is it in the UK App Store as well?
It will be,
Okay.
but Monday it's launching in the US first. There's additional development needed for GDPR and European regulations, and so it's like another month of work for us to add that. So we are definitely launching in Europe second.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Yeah, I know all about the GDPR and all. That's that can be quite pain in the butt sometimes, and just I don't want to take up too much time ranting. But I remember when that GDPR was introduced, and I'm being very honest and not exaggerating when I say all of the spam in my email inbox, all of the spam telephone calls and SMS text messages, and you name it, have increased ever since that was introduced versus what was in place before that, which in this country was called the Data Protection Act. But that was better and more effective than GDPR. So all of this obsessive compulsive neurosis law, which is what it is, has not helped to reduce, problems with our data and compromises of our data integrity and privacy. It hasn't helped. What was here in place before that was more effective and better. And so I'm not a fan, but we have no choice, do we? Because it's the law. So we have to follow it, and we do. We have to obey. So that's the Data Protection Act. Anyway, rant over, sidebar finished. And I can't wait for myself to be able to actually download the app without having to, VPN it and change my app store, which I never do because it's a pain in the butt to do that and then not have it ruin everything, including some of, my favorite games. I don't have a lot of games, but I do like some of the Harry Potter ones. So, so I'll have to wait, you say, another month. But in the USA, it's available Monday. So for now, I'll content myself with the website and just watching what's going on. And then in a month, hopefully, if all goes well, I'll be able to download it myself and start using it. And then what other countries are you looking at? Is that because once you sort GDPR, is that the United Kingdom? Is that every English-speaking country, basically?
I think every English-speaking country. That's the next step. And
so
then
like Australia.
Yep. And then language translations is sort of the next
language translations. Yeah. And do you have a sort of a timetable and a plan of which languages are coming first and next and all that?
Not yet. I'm hoping we get 100 downloads at some point in the future. Everybody's very optimistic because I think it's a fun concept and there's a lot of value here. And but pre-launch, it's still, there's a lot of anxiety around it because we're at 0 right now. And so if we get,
yeah.
I'm
And then
working on our first 100 subscribers, and then we can talk about
definitely. And then you have to also maintain the app, updates. Every time there's a little iOS update, you're going to have to update your app and make sure that's maintained. I think those happen more frequently than Google, but they both are going to keep you probably quite busy on top of that. So glitches are kept to a minimum, which you can never, I don't think, have them at 0. I don't think anyone's figured that one out.
No.
But
Here's a little bit about what the roadmap looks like.
Mm-hmm.
We are starting to work on the cat facial recognition piece, which we should launch by December. And that's where if you see a cat, you could maybe connect with the other user. And then we're going to be building out the walking feature. A lot of people will go for a walk. And so this will track your walk. And if you see 3 cats, you can finish your walk and you'll get stars for a 3-kitty walk.
All right.
And then we're also adding badges and gamification. So Dr. Rachel, you mentioned that it should be easy, really easy to use. And we tried to make it very easy. You don't even have to take a picture. You can upload a picture and essentially do the same thing. So fun and easy. And gamification means the more cats you see, the more badges you get. There's going to be a kitty leaderboard. So we'll be able to see who has the most cat profiles or the most cat sightings. And then the other
it's
kind
like
of
Pokemon for cats.
Exactly.
Go and find the
exactly.
cat.
In fact, I didn't play the Pokemon very much, but I played the game that was built on. And basically what they're doing is, and what we're doing is we're crowdsourcing cat information. So we're enabling everybody who sees a cat to take a picture, and now we collect that into a database. And I should say, you won't be able to see other cats' locations. So we are protecting the cats and the privacy of the cat. It's not like, you'll be able to see there's 10 cats over there and then you can go find them. Yeah. Now, once you see them, you'll have your own map and you can see all your own cats. And I've seen cats in about 5 different countries. So I'm excited to look at my global map and see all the cats and then click on the profile and reminisce about that cat, or see if somebody has seen that cat since and left notes.
Okay, so even if it's so if it's in the App Store first in the USA, but you can still, let's say you're going on a vacation on and you're traveling somewhere, you could still use it, and it'll still work in another place in the world, even though it's only available in there. So that's important to know. It's like, if Rachel, you download it tomorrow and then you come visit London, you can use it there and spot the cats. There is normally a cat in the number 10, which is our version of like the White House. So where the prime minister works, and there's normally a cat in there. There's who's more permanent than the prime minister. So so maybe you can use it on that one. Let's find out about that cat.
I think we will develop celebrities. We'll find the most famous cats, and we'll be able to tell how many profiles or pictures of a single cat. In fact, I want to have a picture counter, date of last sighting, and how many times that cat was photographed. And I think you'll even be able to set up alerts. So if you have a cat profile and someone else takes a picture, you'll get notified that someone has identified your cat. And then again, you can contact them and reach out to them.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Unfortunately, my cats probably won't be celebrities because they stay indoors. So unless somebody photos them through the window, if they happen across them, there's not much of a chance for them to be celebritized in that way through Whisker Tracker. But that's okay. That's okay.
The other real problem that I think this can solve, and facial recognition really makes it possible, because now we can actually identify a single cat and start to count those cat sightings. Here in San Diego, it's estimated there are between 300,000 and 1 million community cats. 300,000 to 1 million is a huge range. Sort of tells me they have no idea how many cats there are. And there's a variety of different ways that they count cat populations. With Whisker Tracker, here in my neighborhood, it's not that big. I've probably already spotted 50 cats in the neighborhood. And if I get a few of my neighbors using Whisker Tracker, over the course of a few weeks or a few months, we will probably have identified every single stray cat that's here. And now we can use that accurate cat count to secure better funding and better resources, or we can, in the near future as well, we want to have verified animal rescues. So you could push a button that says this cat needs urgent assistance, and that message could go to a cat rescue who could send out a caretaker, for example. So counting cats, I think, is going to be very valuable in the long run as well.
Yeah, accurate numbers are really important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And did you make this app yourself, or did you have to hire like app designers and things like that, or was this like another skill that you have?
I hired a team. So
Yeah.
I've done software development. I've been in marketing and fundraising for about 15 years, and subject matter expert in cats. I feed a colony every morning. It has about 25 cats. So between my 9 cats and their 25 cats, and then
Yeah.
the 20 at the cat cafe, every day I'm hanging out with 50, 60 cats. Yeah, so I have some experience in this, but I hired a machine learning computer vision expert to do the facial recognition, which is about a 2-month, 1-person project. And then I found a great app development team to build the front end. So
Okay.
I'm doing the marketing, the founder work, and managing the project. I also did wireframe everything. So before I
Mhm.
started building this, I drew out every screen. I labeled every functionality
All
piece.
right.
And really, all of this is now available. There's walking apps, there's photo apps, there's facial recognition. I'm just trying to combine it all into one fun, easy app to use.
And make it about cats.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So on that note, Dr. Rachel, do you have anything else you want to ask Justin?
I would just say that I'm very excited about this. I think that it's going to do so much, not only be fun and bring cat lovers together, but ultimately save lives and improve the health and welfare of cats. So I'm very excited about it.
In a fun way.
In a fun
In a
way.
fun way.
And an
And I
important
think that's really
Yeah.
important that
Yeah.
that it's that we have fun doing it, because even if we're doing something serious, the fun helps, because it helps us to
Absolutely.
with our stress levels. I mean, you in
I mean, I
our
do all of
health.
my cat behavior work with a smile on my face. So I think that, yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And the community aspect is really important. Working in animal rescue, I mean, we see devastating situations all the time,
Yeah.
and having that community and the network is really important.
Really
Because
important.
we can support each other. We can
Yeah.
support each other, and it's not just about supporting cats. It's also about connecting people, cats, and I think that's all the community you need, really.
Absolutely. That's why I
Um,
give my time to so many of these types of shows, because it really helps. Every time I feel like every time I do a podcast with Justin, I'm reaching an audience I may not reach. I'm helping people I may not have previously been able to help. I learn about things I wouldn't have known about. So it's just wonderful all the way around.
like Whisker Tracker.
Exactly. Yes.
So Justin, is there anything else you'd like to say and leave our listeners
Yeah,
with?
I think I'm excited for the launch this week. Please download it, check it out. We'd love your support. And Dr. Rachel, I do have a cat behavioral question for you while I have the opportunity.
Okay.
So I have one of my kitties. His name is Starscream, and he's a Siamese tabby. So he's a white tabby. He's very vocal. For the past 5 years, every single night, really interesting behavior. I think it's hilarious and adorable, but I'm curious as if you've heard this before. So every single night for the past 5 years, he'll follow me to bed. He waits until I get into bed, and then he jumps on the bed and he starts attacking my toes. And I play with him, and he's going at it. He's squeaking and squawking. You can hear him probably from down the block. So he attacks my toes for a couple of minutes, and then he bites the blanket, proceeds to spin in circles and wind the blanket up. He takes the blanket off my bed, down the stairs, and leaves it in the kitchen. And every morning I wake up and I go downstairs and there's this blanket in the kitchen. Have you ever heard of that, or is he just a weirdo?
Well, I've heard variations on the theme. So okay, so here's the thing. You think about the way our schedules work versus the way your cat's schedule works. So you're out and about during the day, you're at work, you're doing your activities, you're running your errands, whatever it is that occupies your day, you're busy during the day. And when you come home, you kind of want to wind down, you want to have dinner, you want to relax, and you want to go to bed. On the other hand, your cat's probably spent a lot of his day on his own. He's probably spent a lot of his day napping. And so when you come home, he's ready for some real interaction. So just as you're winding down, he's revving up. And sure, we might give our cat some attention. We might play a little bit with our cats, but often it's not enough. And when you go to sleep, your cat may sleep a little bit with you, but eventually his normal cat energy is going to bust through, and hence your problem. So here's what we want to do. I mean, cats are natural born hunters. So, the thing with the toes or the feet or the blanket, cats have a need to sink their teeth into something, to sink their claws into something, and to make it theirs. And just like us, they have all of their own unique ways of doing it. So when he's going at your toes, biting the blankets, grabbing the blanket, he's fulfilling that need to, hunt, pounce, bite, attack something, eat it, monitor his territory, be the ruler of his territory, be the conqueror of his territory. So here's what I want you to do. Before you go to bed, and as close to bedtime as possible, I want you to do what I call an interactive play therapy session. And to do this properly, you want to use a fishing pole or wand type toy. Mm-hmm. So the reason I like people to use fishing poles or wands is you can manipulate and move that toy to really mimic prey. So some people toss solo toys, but then the cat has to pretend to be both the predator and the prey, and that's not very realistic. And some people wave the toy wildly about, in the cat's face. Well, that's not realistic either, because no prey is going to put itself right into the cat's face. So we really want to think about how prey would act. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, sometimes you scurry away, sometimes you hide under something. You might stop moving completely to play dead to try to trick the cat. You might be losing stamina, you're fast, you're slow, and so forth. So you get the idea. Really mimic prey. And during the time, let the cat have what I call like little mini interim captures. Let him hold the toy between his paws, and when he sees you're not moving it anymore, he'll release his grip, and you can start up again. So this is the way a cat would really hunt, right? Like they'd swat at something, they'd try to bite it. So we want to make it as realistic as possible. After about 10 minutes of play, I don't want you to say, okay, we've played for about 10 minutes. Bye, we're done. What I want you to do is slowly wind the game down. Again, we're mimicking a real hunt, a successful hunt. So the prey is getting tired, the prey is getting injured, the prey dies. And then we're going to end the session with some type of food. It can be a treat. It can be a portion of his regular meal. If he's on prescription food, it can be that. It doesn't matter. But you want to end the session with some type of food to mimic the cat killing the prey and then eating his prey. So many people don't end the session with food, and that leaves the hunt unsuccessful and makes your cat wonder why all of his great hunting techniques don't seem to be working. So we want to simulate a hunting sequence all the way to the end where he kills the prey and he eats the prey. Now, when the cat eats the prey after a hunt, we now tap into his natural hunt, eat, sleep cycle. And that's where we want you to get your cat. So the closer you can do it to your bedtime, the longer his sleep cycle is going to match with your sleep cycle. So, you can play with your cat during the evening, but if you can do a really, really robust session right before bed, he would way rather like hunt and get the prey than try to bite your toes. Now, if you think about how long it might take us to break a habit, so it's not going to happen overnight, but, stay the course, and eventually he will learn that he's going to have a way better alternative than going for your toes. You can even distract and redirect. So say you've done the play session, but he's not quite there yet. When he goes for your toes, you can still whip out that fishing pole toy, redirect him to the toy. anytime you can redirect to a real hunt, you're shifting that cat out of kind of like that anxious mode, looking for satisfaction mode, into the positive mode of a hunter. And being a hunter feels way better to a cat than like trying to find some other way that's not so satisfying to satisfy that need. And then I tell people too to keep set up puzzle feeders before you go to bed. So if he does wake up before you do, he'll have something to do that will simulate that hunt. So a puzzle feeder, he has to hunt for the food, he has to manipulate it in some way, he has to overcome some challenge. And then when he gets it right, the food is doled out, and that puts him back in the hunt, eat, sleep cycle. So I have a whole video on this. I have it all written out. If you want more, let me know. But that was kind of like the bullet point version of what to do.
It's great. Thank you.
Yeah. And obviously, I don't think I need to tell you this, Justin, but just for the benefit of anyone who's listening who might wonder, I'm going to add one little thing to it. Punish the cat. Don't do that. Because never punish. You know why? Because the cats don't learn like that. You punish the cat with either, a spray bottle or slapping it or whatever. The cat does not then associate like perhaps maybe a dog does. A cat does not do this. They don't then associate the behavior with the punishment. What they do associate with is they develop a fear of you. So all you will ever do is spoil your relationship with the cat completely, because they will be afraid of you. They will not like you and love you because you hurt them. Yeah, they will also not then learn that behavior is what triggered you to do that. So the only caution would be don't add any punishment into it.
Right, because cats don't think in terms of right or wrong the way we do. Cats think in terms of meeting their needs and acting on instinct. So when your cat is going after your toes, he's not thinking, I'm going to be mischievous, I'm going to be bad. He's thinking, I really need to hunt and feel that satisfaction of something between my teeth. And, there's those toes, they're moving a little bit. That could be kind of exciting. So if we replace that, with cats, if you are taking something away from a cat, you always need to replace it with something equally enticing or even better. And you also, if you want to change your cat's behavior, you need to give your cat a reason to like that new behavior. And also you need to set it up with something enticing and let the cat decide that he wants to do it. With cats in general, it's always best to set things up so the cat thinks that it's all his idea.
It's like your boss at work, right?
Husband too, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, a husband or a boss at work. It's mushroom man. It's like manage upwards. You make them think it's their idea, then it's all good. And a cat is just like that. And on that note, this is the kitty boss, not at work, but at play. So Justin, I wanted to thank you very much for coming. We are obviously visibly all excited for Whisker Tracker. Currently at whiskertrackerapp.com, and on Monday in the United States app stores, whether it's Google or Apple, they're available for download there. And then hopefully, with some luck, in a month, they'll be available in the UK and the rest of the English-speaking world. And then as the future rolls on, when you speak other languages. So thank you very much for coming, Justin. It's a pleasure to meet you. I wish you the best of luck with this app, and we'll see you real soon.
Thanks for having me.
And stick around because we'll talk to you in just 2 minutes. And Dr. Rachel, thank you once again for joining us on the show and also for providing that extra bit of advice for Justin and for all of our listeners, because that is extremely valuable. Thank you, Dr. Rachel.
Thank you. See you next time.
And thank you for watching. This is Cat Lady Justin, and this has been The Kitty Boss, where we pick, pamper, and protect your practically perfect pussycat for a lifetime of unconditional love. We'll see you next month, and we'll talk a bit about the autumn and the fall and what to expect, what to do, and we'll prepare you for the season.